Hello and welcome to North Star Stamper. I'm Susan Kramer. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Woodbury, Minnesota. Let me find myself on my computer so I can make sure my video is going just the way I want it to know. Let's keep looking. Thank you for joining me today. I have lots of little tips and tricks, so I hope you'll stay with me throughout the video. I know a lot of times people just want to see the card that I'm making. And maybe if it's a fun fold, maybe directions along the way or something. But today I am making a card, which I don't normally do on Fridays. And I wanted to make a quick card. I'm sorry for my little scribbles. I'm a lefty and I blame my handwriting on being left-handed. When I want to make a quick card or don't know where to start, I'll grab a sketch. So I go to Pinterest. I have a board on my Pinterest account called, I think, Card Sketches. And that's where this one came from. I thought it would be fun to just use a sketch. So that's what I'm using. I will type up the dimensions in my description when I'm done. And since tomorrow is the 4th of July and we're celebrating 250 years as a country here in the U.S., remember that old joke? It's still the 4th of July in England, even though they're not celebrating that we left them. Anyway, okay, so a sketch, and I'm going to use red, white, and blue. So I'm going to use two-tone paper. In this case, I think I want the variation in the colors. I thought that would add some interest to our card. I don't have all the colors in two-tone cardstock. I like it. It's thicker than most designer series paper, but it's not quite as thick as regular cardstock. So I do have some Poppy Parade. So I don't know if you can, you really have to feel it. You know what? I think I'll be sending two-tone cardstock to people. So leave a comment, and I'll send you some two-tone cardstock just so you can see the difference in it. So I like to buy the papers that coordinate with designer series paper. This one happens to be the Turtley Sweet, and these colors are Crushed Curry, Garden Green, Granny Apple Green, Petal Pink, Pool Party, and Poppy Parade. So I pulled it out because I want the Poppy Parade, and this is Poppy Parade cardstock. So you can see they don't quite match, which they coordinate, but it gives us so many more colors to play with, which is why I chose to use two-tone. So the back side coordinates really nice with our cardstock. What else was I going to say? Oh, did you know if you go... So I was looking for Night of Navy and Poppy Parade designer series paper. You can shop by color. So shop, and then you can select color. And then I chose Poppy Parade. It says we have no Poppy Parade designer series paper. And it says that the only Night of Navy designer series paper we have right now is the bundles that we have in all the colors. Remember, I don't know, I've used it before. It has the stripes and the dots. It says that's the only paper, printed paper we have with Night of Navy. I think I need to point that out to Stampin' Up! And share that we need more. Okay, so I'm going to make a card with Poppy Parade and Night of Navy. And that sketch. And I have something new I'm going to share with you, and I'm using it today, just the stamp set today. Monday, I'm going to be using the Pretty Poinsettia bundle as part of my Christmas in July. So I'll use this the Monday after that. This is the Simply Leaves bundle. You can see it has a punch. I like the leaves. They're kind of fun to have something other than flowers. I think I need a drink of coffee. I'll let you look at this. Oh, sorry, you can't see the punch very well. These leaves are very, very large. I don't know how large. They are, I forget, this goes the other way. 2 1/4 inches long. The big ones are 2 1/4 inches long by 1.5 inch wide. So they're very large. And with the punch, I think it'll be a great set. So I've seen the veins stamp. Maybe it'll be easier here. The vein, oh, that one too. just used as a background. So that might be kind of fun to create some fun things with. So I already took my sentiment from here, a little something to say hello. So that's what we're going to use for our sentiment on our card. And then my other little tip today is I grabbed some silvery kinds of things, or white. I'm not sure what I want on here. And then I have some scraps of ribbon or twine that I'm going to use. Maybe, I don't know, they're on my table, we'll see. But when we get these, they no longer tell us what colors are on here. So I list what colors are on here. These are long retired, I believe, but yes, and I mark where they were from. These were from the September to December 2025 catalog, and then I add the colors. So this one happens to have Night of Navy, the Charming Shimmer Faceted Dots from July 2025 online exclusive. So I'm sure they're retired too, but I like the Night of Navy as an option because I don't think I have any red embellishments. Actually, when I wanted Poppy Parade. When I looked up Poppy Parade, it was just, excuse me, ink, paper, and the blend. So we don't have any of those. And then I just have scraps to use for, this is for my sentiment, and this is for one of my 3 sections on my card. The other 2 are going to be designer series, or paper that we're going to stamp on and create our own designer series paper since Stampin' Up! Didn't give us any. And then I have my inks. And the other thing I'm going to use to create my pattern paper is our Stampin' Positioner. I don't use this very often. To be honest, I do pull out my Stamparatus more than I use this one, but this one's current. I should be using it and using it with you so you can see it in action. Okay, let's cut some of this down. I have my card base, so that's good. I'm going to put that aside. And then these are for my sentiment. So my 3 pieces, let's do this one white. You know what? I'm going to stamp first, and then we'll cut them down. Let's do that first. And I'm going to do that because I want to be able to put this in my positioner and have my magnets hold it down. And I did measure this. This is more than 2 1/4 wide. So if I stamp here, here's my 2 1/4. I know I'll have enough pattern paper there to work with. All right, and then I grabbed some stamps that I thought would make great backgrounds. I thought this background, the hashed lines from Fern and Flora, would make a fun background. I could use a design, a fern too, that'd be kind of fun. And then of course Bordered in Beauty, any one of these would make a perfect background. And I'm going to use the step technique. Oh, you know what? We're going to use a few because they are so thin, and I want to stamp across my papers. So let's do this one first. Sorry, today's video is going to be longer. You can fast forward. Did you know you can do that? You can go double speed. If you have premium YouTube, I think you can go 3 times speed. So I'm going to set this here right on the edge, and I'm going to pick it up with my positioner. All right. Once I get ink on here, it won't stick to the paper near as much. Okay, let's make this one Night of Navy. Because our card base and one of our panels is going to be Poppy Parade. Let's do 2 Night of Navies. And I'm going to, I don't know if you can see. This is a really old ink pad. It's not even the current style of ink. It is a foam pad that we're doing away with, but it's not the flip one. This is the flip, and let's see if I can do this. This is where your ink spots would come in handy. So I'm going to clean that off and push down. I'm going to do it twice and hold. Works. All right, and ink it up. And then I'm going to move it along and hold. And push where the stamp is, just like any positioner. It's not perfect, but it'll do. It's just a background piece. Then I'm going to use just a 1/4 piece of a chamois that I'm going to clean. And I already put that away. I'm learning to put photopolymer stamps away because they get lost, they get stuck to things. I can't tell you how many times I have found a photopolymer stamp on the back of an ink pad. If you lose one, that's the first place. If I lose one, that's the first place I look. So that's going to be some great pattern paper. Now we're going to use a piece of this. Let's cut it down. That's kind of big to be working with. I'll just cut it down to 4. 4 is a good number when you're working with a piece of 12-inch paper. Let's just put this up here. And because this side, the dark side of the Poppy Parade doesn't perfectly match this, I'm going to go with one that coordinates, and I really like that. People were complaining that it doesn't match perfectly. Some of them are very, very close. The Old Olive is very, very close. This one obviously is not, which I'm fine by. It gives me more options. If I want real Poppy Parade, I'll use cardstock. If I want a variation, I'll use two-tone. Let's use this one. And just some, oh, there's butterflies. I want more straight. We're just going to line these up. Oh, the loop-de-loop one. Loop-de-loop. We're just going to put a few and create our own background. I love stamping. Creating something with ink and paper is so special. I am so glad I found this hobby 29 years ago. Can you believe that? It was January 1997. The hearts are cute, but I'm not sure which direction I need them to go, so I'm not going to use them. And we'll put these rounded ones the same direction. This part you can fast forward through because I'm just fiddling with stamps. We're going to put them real close together. And move them down. Should have played before. Once there's ink, it won't stick to the paper. We'll try it this way this time. Pick up our ink. These are going to be stained now, but that's okay. We'll start down here. Stamp. Oh, I didn't put that down. I see I'm not getting real good ink on the edge of that one. Oh, sorry, I was out of camera. So I'm going to use this end because it's really close to my, you can see I didn't ink very well there. So we're going to move this down. That's too far. They might overlap, but that's right. We're just creating a background. Yeah, they are overlapping. Yeah, let's see. I might redo this. Sorry. So the edge of my ink goes, whoa! On that side of my ink pad. Put that close. Do you use a stamp positioner? Leave me a comment. I don't like how these are overlapping, so I'm going to get rid of this one, and then my fingers are going to be red. We'll just keep playing, right? It's just paper. It didn't cost me that much, and it's a very small piece. Even if it was expensive, I'm not using a huge piece of paper. I think I'm overlapping too much there. And I only need a portion of this. I don't need all of it. So I'm stamping more than I need, just so I can pick and choose what part of the paper I use. I'm going to move this magnet close to my stamping so it holds down. Much better. Much better. I think that, let's do one more, now that I have it working right. So my ink goes near the edge on this side, so that's the part I'm going to put up top. There. I'm making a mess there, but I think it's okay. We'll just get it all cleaned up here. I'm going to stamp my sentiment next, just with an ink pad. Clean these up. Just a piece of chamois. I think my team leader gave me a chamois. So I cut one up. I don't know why it's not purple anymore. It faded as I wipe it off. I don't know, but it works. It cleans my stamps. There we go. I'm just going to set this aside because I'm taking too long. I was going to time myself. I know this is going to be a very long one. Okay, let's put this to the side. Don't think I need all that anymore. There's a lot of Poppy Parade already. We're going to use Night of Navy for our sentiment. These are just scraps I had. And our sentiment today says, a little something to say hello. I'm going to stamp that in the middle, off to the side just a tad. And I have two just in case I didn't like my first stamping. Of course, I could turn it over if I needed to, but I like how it turned out. I'm going to put this stamp on this block so I don't lose it. And put that out of the way. I'll clean up when I'm done. Do these away. Clean my fingers. See, this rag, I think this came with the glass mat. I use that for my fingers a lot. And this is just a scrap of a Norwex cloth I used to clean up. All right. There are our pieces. Where'd they go? Oh, I didn't stamp on the blue. Sorry. You know, I mentioned, let's just stamp instead of using the positioner. I'm not real good with that yet. I don't use it often. We're going to add some, oh, I know what I'll do. I know. I mentioned this earlier. The background, use these for background, so let's do that. I guess we are using more. Sorry, that sound is so noisy, I think. We're going to use them both on one block. Is this big enough? Nope. So we're going to kind of put them together and then pick them up with the block. I think I really like the dark side. You may not even be able to see this. And we're just going to stamp. Oh, barely, but I like it. I'll hold it close to the camera when I'm done. You probably have stamps you could make a nice little background with. So can you see that? I'll wait for the video to catch up to me. Oh, yes. Just something interesting to add some texture. Oh, there's something else you could do with a sketch with these small pieces. Run it through your embossing machine and add some texture. These pieces are nice and small, so you could, they would easily fit the long way in your mini machine, if that's what you have. Okay, so here's our sketch. I wanted the small 2 1/4 by 1 3/4 to be this one. 2 1/4 by 1 3/4. Perfect. So that's one of our pieces. Just move everything to the side. And then 2 1/4. I'll have enough here I could actually make a second card. 2 1/4 by 3 1/4. Let's see, which side do I like best. This one's a little more full. We'll use that. 2 1/4 by 3 1/4. And then that first one we did is going to be our 1 1/2. Sorry, I miswrote that. 1 1/2 by 5 1/8. So we'll start with our 5 1/8. And then we'll decide, I think all of it's good. 1 1/2. So when I'm cutting, rather than going like this and cutting on this side, I like to use this, sorry, I like to use this side when I'm using small measurements. This is one of the best things about this trimmer. If you don't have a trimmer, check out our paper trimmer. Not perfectly stamped, but that's okay. This is just a little note card, right? Let's make sure this is the right size. I just pulled it out of my stash. Yep, 8 1/2 by 5 1/2. I like to bend it and get the fibers going the right way. You've seen me do that probably 100 times. And then line up my edges. All right, and then these are going to go like this. Do we want them up or down? I think we want them this way. I'm looking at the rounded ones. I did them opposite ways. I think this looks like a banner to me, this stamp here, so I'm going to put it this way. And of course, I could rearrange these if I want. I could put this one this way. I could turn it this way. There's lots of things you can do with a sketch. But I like the dimensions here to beef it up a little. I could put a layer behind it, right? Maybe some gold. That would be kind of fun. But we're not. We're going to keep this one simple. This is just a quick note card that I'll send to somebody. Oh, sorry, I should put that way. A little something to say hello. I think normally I would think that belongs on a treat package or something. But this is just a little something as in a note. So I'm going to put, I'm looking at all my edges around my stamped piece here just to make those pretty well even. And these, I'm going to try the same thing. I wish that one were a little wider. Huh. Wonder if did I mismeasure that? 1.5. Oh, I didn't go 1.5 today. Oh, I went 1 1/4. This piece is supposed to be wider, so don't follow what I did in my when I cut it. It was supposed to be 1.5, which is why my measurements are off a little bit. It was a good sketch. I just didn't cut properly. I'm talking too much. I think that's the problem. So we're just going to do the best we can. I'm going to line this up. I put equal sides here, and then I lined it up. Oh, sorry. I put equal sides, equal amounts here, and then I lined it up with the bottom of this red strip. And then this one will just fit in. So not a perfect card, but do you think the recipient will notice? If they're a card maker, maybe. I don't know who I'm sending this to yet. So to even out my stamping here, I'll line this. I like this distance. So I'm not going to measure it. I'm going to put the edge of my paper right here. And then I'm going to make a note among all this where the end of my letter is, and it's right in the middle of this section. So I'm going to flip it over and put this in the middle of this section. So my writing is in the middle of this section, and that will be close enough for me to have equal amounts here and here, and that will give me a place to put an embellishment. All right, let's grab my embellishments and all those things. So I have some blue, Night of Navy. I have the clear frosted things. And then I have some silver. I grabbed some ribbon and whatnot. This was one of my favorite packs, and this was very old in color from 22 to 24. This one's very close to Night of Navy, so I could use that. This was, I think, Sweet Sorbet. That is very close to Poppy Parade, so I think that would look fine too. This was literally a scrap I had in my stash. I don't know what it is or where it came from. Maybe we'll put... Sorry, this is getting really long now. I'm going to just wrap this around and adhere it to the back. So I'm going to use something stronger, like Terran tape, just to hold this in place. I do like that I have all, I don't think I've ever shown you, sorry, I figure I'm taking a long time. I know I'm really close to the camera. I have all my adhesives in this bucket. It was a great find from, I don't know, some antique store somewhere along the way. And I'm just going to randomly tape this around. Actually, I'm going to grab another piece and put it on top of it. So using that little bit, I don't think it matters that the colors aren't exact. I don't think the person's going to notice. Just to cover up my gaps here because they're not the same, that's going to go there with some dimensionals. I'm not going to put a dimensional on the other side of my twine there. That would be way too thick, and it would make my sentiment uneven. So I'm just going to put it next to it. I'm actually going to leave that liner, this liner here on it, just to hold it a little better. And we'll do this. And then I think I have enough blue, so we're not going to use those. Clear, I think, would disappear. We're going to use silver. White may have been all right too. I don't know. We'll use some small silver ones. Actually, I like to do this. I like to do, if I have them, a big one in the middle and small ones on the sides, just like that. I will add a piece of white on the inside to write on, but that's my card for today. And I had other ideas too. So, fun ideas with a quick sketch. And I had to make my own paper because we don't have Poppy Parade and Night of Navy paper right now. At least I don't have the color families of those. So thank you for joining me. Happy stamping. Have a safe weekend. And I'll be back with you Monday using the Pretty Poinsettia bundle to make some cards. Maybe even not some Christmas cards. We'll see. Bye for now.